Welcome to my Project 3 demonstration video for 235. My name is Kenneth Rossi. I'm a second year game design development student in your course. This is what I did for this final project. I produced a game in Pixie.js called Fly Me to the Moon, which is a little riff on a Sinatra song, but it fit for me. So Just right off the get-go, just talking about some of the thought I put into the site. It's not a super complicated background, but I did want it to match the Starfield aspect of the game since it's set in space, so that is some thought that I put into. All of the textures that you are going to see in the game, they were all created by me. They might not be the fanciest thing, but they were all created by me. I'm pretty proud of how the different cycles of walking came about for the player. I've had it muted, but I also implemented Howler into my site, and I had access to certain bundles from itch.io, which gave me I included in my sources, but certain royalty-free music that I was able to use, and sound effects that fit the theme of my game. So I'm going to unmute now so you can hear some of that. I have a main menu theme set up. If I were to advance by enter, as you can see, I clearly just wanted to dictate through my game because it doesn't use too many keyboard commands what they would need to press. So press enter to advance, and you still have the main menu theme here. I gave a little bit of exposition on my story. Basically, you get trapped in space. You're on this moon rock, the moon, and you gotta collect some parts so you can fix your ship up and get home. Press enter again. You'll start into the main gameplay loop, and as you notice, the music swapped. Within here, you're gonna notice that if I were to die, there's a certain fail music that I have, as well as a game over screen that I set up. If I am to collect this pistol here and evade that enemy, there's a sound as well for firing, as well as destroying. And if I advance again, you'll see there's a victory theme as well for the level. Another thing that I put a lot of thought into that I want to highlight is this ship. It's separated into 3 components, but I drew one larger sprite and then layered the 3 separate components over it and exported them separately. So as you progress through the game, you see that the ship is going to become filled in with the part that you collected. Now it says press enter to advance, so if you press enter, then you will come here. Just talking a little bit about the collisions that I had to code, which we could hop over into Visual Studio Code real quick. In utilities, I threw them in there. I rebuilt Rex Intersect. I didn't use anything from Circle Blast, so I felt that was pretty important to point out, but a method that I actually came up with on my own this year for GDEPS 2, and I re-implemented into JavaScript and figured out, is this would contains method, which basically I have this enumeration of different directions that is set up in main, and based on a key press, it's indicating to this method a certain direction that you would like to travel in. But first it checks by setting up this hypothetical test player who's an invisible sprite, but has the same dimensions, and it tests if you were to travel in that direction, would you still be contained within the larger rectangle that makes up the screen? It's a method that I'm particularly proud of, and it has helped me both a lot within this project and my GDEPS 2 final. It's come up a lot in personal projects as well, so I just want to point that out. So I coded in contain, which we didn't use in Circle Blast as far as I'm aware, and I also made a would intersect for the walls, which I wanted to highlight as well. So this little player here, he can walk in 8 directions as I stated I would have him do in my prototype, or my proposal rather, but he cannot walk past the wall. It doesn't matter, I'm dying here, but as you can see, that wall is perfectly implemented, and it is not just a hard-coded single sprite. It is actually composed of smaller tiled textures over each other using loops. That's how I have that set up, and it should make it easier, and it did make it easier to create more levels as time goes on, if I am to work on this more, which I think I just might. So that's just a little bit about some of the effort. Just off the bat, you can see that I put in. But if I were to take this collectible, you'll notice, like I said, the ship fills up more. This is the final level I composed. I try to increase the number of enemies, and also you can beat every level except probably this one, and even still I think you could do it. You just involve a little more maneuvering without picking up the gun, which is something I wanted to do. The way that I have the algorithm for the enemy tracking coded is once you get within a certain range, they move a lot faster when they are further away from you, but as they get close to you, they get slower. So if you don't just freak out right away and start moving further away, which makes them go faster, you can probably juke them out and then get ahead of them, which is just something that I wanted to talk about in terms of my design. But now I can just take out this guy, come out here. If you see, I can kind of bait him around like that, and then I would be able to go through. Yeah, and that's the end of the current iteration of the game. But as you can see, there's no more interaction. The game has successfully completed a cycle. But the rocket is complete, and you see the full sprite there now. So that is my project. I hope you liked it. I've certainly had a lot of fun doing this, and I just wanted to say thanks for the opportunity this semester, and have a great break.